Hi. Hello. Let me bring this closer. Live chat. I feel like I haven't been on here forever. I'll give it a few more minutes. Hey, I don't find it here. Oh, Mama's on for her nooner. I forgot. I won't be long. All right, guys. So, I first want to start by saying that I am feeling way better. Now, I did contract COVID. I've been sick for what seems to be forever. Um, I want to say 10 days already. I'm feeling way better now. Way better now. Um, it's been very horrible. But I've been taking vitamins and medications and, resting a lot. I'm out of work for 2 weeks. Well, now 1 week. I have 1 week left. And then I'm to return to work if I test negative when I retest. Um, but I am good. I am alive. I'm breathing. And I just want to let you guys know, please take this seriously. Please be safe, guys. Wear your masks. Um, you know, constantly wash your hands. I feel like I contracted it probably from a customer at work, even though at work I was constantly washing my hands and with my mask and everything. At this point, you don't know who has it and who carries it. Just please be safe, please be careful, and avoid being outside in public where there's a lot of people. Unless you work with the public. Unfortunately, if you work with the public, there's not much you can do other than wearing your mask and sanitizing your hands constantly. But I am okay. So I wanted to pop on here because I've seen a lot of people do the tarot collector tag that Brant from Moonbaby created. And I wanted to jump on and do the tarot collector tag. Now, this excites me because I've been collecting tarot. Like, my tarot collection has been growing, especially since I've been home, like this past 10 days. I've probably ordered like 8 new decks. And I still have, I think, like two that are on the way. Hi, Mikey. Hi, Marge. Hi, Iridescency, MA, Lori. But yes, guys, I'm feeling way better. So I want to go ahead and start this tag. And it's 9 questions or nine. Yeah, I'm supposed to do 9 decks, but I think I picked out a little bit more than 9. But I'll explain to you why. So the first tag is your most expensive deck. Now, I have 2. I have one that I've paid the most for ever. I try not to pay. The most I've paid is $100 for a deck, and I try not to. Especially if it's a deck out of print. There's some decks that go for ridiculous prices. Like I've seen an out of print deck for like $500 and stuff like that. So I usually check on eBay because sometimes you can get good deals or you can bid. And I'll show you the one I bid it on last week, and I won the bid. And that deck retails for now at about $500, and I won the bid for $70. So I paid under $100 for that deck. I was not gonna pay no $500 for that deck. So I'll show you first my most expensive deck that I've actually paid for, and then I'll show you one that I paid for that is out of print, that the value is really high, but I didn't pay what the value goes for now. So the deck I actually paid the most for, and I probably paid for this, I think it came up to $117 with shipping. And it's the Bone Stone and Earthflesh Tarot by Avalon Cameron and illustrations by Anna Turian. Now, I'm not going to do a walkthrough of this deck just because this deck is new. It's everywhere. People are raving about it. Now, the box is amazing. The book is chunky. I mean, the amount of work, the quality, oh my God. Like, this is everything. Now, I will say the one thing, I know why they did it, but the one thing I don't like is the box. I don't like how they, I'm not referring to Anna Turian and Avalon. I'm just referring to period how some decks get split up in 2 and put in a box like this. I know why they did it because of the book. It would fit perfectly, but I'm not a fan of it. The deck, the book, awesome. Amazing red gilding. This deck is so beautiful. The backs, amazing thick cardstock. I mean, this is a collector's item. This is amazing. The colors, I'm sorry if my computer's a little bit, yeah. There we go. It's not a shiny cardstock. It's almost like a mattish, but it's really good quality. I mean, this deck, I have no complaints on the deck. The deck is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's everything I wanted for this deck. Like, it really is awesome. I think that's where it's split. It really is awesome. So this is my most expensive deck that I've actually paid for out of my pocket. So you see what I mean? I have a little bit of trouble putting in this part of the deck inside. You just got to be patient with it. My keyboard is broken, so I write comments in Pinterest and copy them over. That's okay, Marge. That's awesome. I'm so glad you are recovering. I am recovering, and I am alive. Now, I will tell you guys, it has not been easy. You know, I'm pretty much a healthy person. And you know, it sucks. It sucks, and I can see why older people don't survive this. I mean, I've literally been in bed since this thing knocked me down, and it literally knocked me down one day to the next, very quickly. I don't want to take too much time from the Tarot Collector talk speaking about COVID. If you guys have certain questions and stuff, feel free to message me either through Messenger on my Facebook or on my Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, you can. But I can see why older people or people that have certain complications. I can see why. I mean, this virus is no joke. The way I can describe it is a really, really, really horrible flu along with a stomach virus. That's how I've kind of felt it. Okay, so the other deck that I own that I've seen that goes for very expensive is the Wizard's Tarot, the original Wizard's Tarot, not the new one. Now, I've been dying for a copy of this deck forever, and you can find it out of print on eBay, even on Amazon, $500, $600, ridiculous. Now, I was lucky enough to find the Spanish version. Now, it's the same exact deck, but the titles and the book are in Spanish. Now, I am a Spanish speaker. It is my first language. I grew up speaking Spanish, so I don't mind owning a Spanish deck. And I was able to get my hands off of this. I found a seller on Amazon, and I paid $27 for it. And it is the Wizard's Tarot by Corinne Kenner. And it's in Spanish. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the same exact deck, except it's in Spanish instead of English. And I was so happy to find that. Very long time. And I just haven't found it for a really decent price other than that. So I got myself the Spanish copy off of Amazon. Now, that one I only paid $27, so it's not the most expensive that I own, but it is one of the decks that I own that I've seen it go for very expensive prices. The one I paid the most for ever is the Bonestone and Earthflesh, and I do not regret it. It is an amazing deck. The second tag is your least expensive deck. Now, the cheapest deck that I own, and I've seen people use this a lot for the cheapest deck, is the tarot cards. Now, this one I got from Spencer's, but Spirit of Halloween sells it. Also, I dropped the card. Sorry. Now, it is very cheap. The box is a hard box. It's a nice box. The backs. Now, it's very cheaply made. You can tell, like, the edges are very, it's a thin cardboard. If you bend the card, it's going to stay bent, and it's going to crease. But I like this deck. I think it's beautiful. You get the planetary symbols and things like that. Now, it doesn't bring a little white book. It doesn't bring a guidebook for it. Now, I've wanted to connect with this deck a little bit more and probably create a journal for it, but I haven't had the time, to be honest. Now, I do like it because each card is a different creature. For example, the Nine of Cups is the Kraken. Some of them don't really match what the card would be, but again, this is not based off a Rider-Waite deck, you just kind of got to use your imagination. So what I'm thinking about doing, for example, this is the Eight of Pentacles, and it's a zombie, right? Is journaling about zombies. Maybe I can start a journal, and for the Eight of Pentacles, do a spread and write about zombies, right? And the story about zombies, where they come from and stuff like that, and how it relates to this image as the Eight of Pentacles. Some of them do not relate to the title of the card, but again, that's fine. Like for the Seven of Pentacles, you have gremlins, and it's these little creatures. Maybe you see the little creatures, but those are gremlins. So this is the cheapest deck that I own, or the least expensive. But I like it. I love this deck. I think it's beautiful. I haven't had the time to actually sit down, work with it, and create meanings for each image. Hi, Janice. Hi, Marge. I think I said hi to Marge. Um, Hi, Cynthia. Okay, so for the next tag, which is the third tag, deck others want to steal. Now, this deck was the deck I was referring to when I first started. Let me take a sip of water. Guys, the most important thing is to hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Lots of water, not cold. You could drink it either room temperature. What I do is if I grab a cold water bottle, I let it sit out for a little bit and then I sip it to where it's cool but not like cold, cold. A lot of hot teas, anything that's going to relieve your throat and loosen up your chest a little bit, because this gives you a lot of congestion. The COVID gives you a lot of congestion and you have a lot of trouble breathing. Now, for me now, I had all the symptoms that they describe: fever, I lost flavor and smell. That was the worst. That's how I noticed it was COVID. That was the worst. That lasted me a whole week. And I was freaking out like I had it. I just had it with it. But thank God I got my scent back and my flavoring back and all of that. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Lots of hot teas, soups, how can I say, broth, chicken broth, beef stew, all types of soup. That's what's gonna save you and help you and get you back on track. Lots of hot stuff. So for the third tag, a deck others want to steal from you. So this deck was I've wanted it for a while. It is an out of print deck. It is by Poppy Palin, and it is called The Wild Spirit. Now, this is the deck. This deck is retailing now for at least, I've seen it on eBay for $500, $600. It's ridiculous. I think that I understand why when a deck is out of print, some people sell it for so much money. Obviously, the value goes up. But it is so sad because some decks, like this is the book. Now, the lady who had this, who sold it to me, first of all, I won the bid out of everyone that was bidding. I think I was the second bidder and I won. I paid for this with the shipping $79. So the shipping was like $10. I ended up paying $69 for the deck. Now, it didn't come with a box, and she described that. Now the book is in amazing shape. In amazing shape. Now it says here the book was originally $12.95. And the book is almost new. Like the deck is almost new. Now she didn't have a box for it, obviously, I guess she had gotten rid of the box or whatever. She wrapped them up so nicely in plastic, in tissue paper. She bubble wrapped it double, send it. She wrapped it inside an envelope and put that bubble wrap envelope in another bubble wrap envelope. So the deck and the book arrived intact. Now we get 2 cards with spreads. And of course, you have a repeated image. So this is the Fool, which is not the Fool of the deck. There's a Fool card in the deck. And this is the 9 of Wands, or 9 of Fire. And you get a meaning at the bottom too. See, illumination. See? So these are 2 extra cards with the spreads. And then this is the deck backing. Oh my God, the backs are beautiful. It is a very Fae-inspired nature elemental deck. Very beautiful deck. Amazing condition. I'll show you some of the cards. See, this is the Fool, or she names it here Wandering Minstrel. Free Spirit. A lot of the cards are renamed, but they're not hard to figure out what they are. Plus, they're numbered. And it tells you free spirit, right? Isn't that what the fool represents the free spirit? The second one is the magician, which is here they call it cunning man, and the definition is magical spirit. And I love this deck. I am so happy I got it. The High Priestess is renamed Wise Woman, and the meaning at the bottom or the keyword is Dream Weaver. She's a crone. This deck brings me so much joy. Like, oh my God. So much joy. So much joy. For example, the Hierophant, which is card number 5, is named the Interpreter, and the keyword is Spirit Guide. And you have all the fake creatures around him talking to him, right? He's kind of like the messenger, the in between that Fey world and our world. That's okay, Marge. If you can't chat anymore, you can at least watch, I hope. The Lovers is the Soulmates, and the keyword is Blessed Union. How's that for some lovers? They're beautiful. I love the fake creatures here. The coloring, the deck, it's a beautiful deck. Honestly, it is beautiful. I can't even... Oh, I mean... I'll show you some more images. See, this is Death, and they named it Rebirth, and it says Spirit of Change. And I love this. I love this Death card. I think it's really cool. You have these bones right here in the bottom. You have the wizard's hat, right? The magician's hat with a bunny coming out of it. And the wizard is holding a child, right? So that there goes that rebirth. All right, guys. So this is the Wild Spirit Tarot by Poppy Palin. Or Palin. And this is the book. The book is called Stories of the Wild Spirit. And this is an out-of-print deck. I had to find a bag for it because I don't have a bag for it, and it didn't come in a box, and I don't want the deck to get messed up, so I definitely have to find a cute baggie to go with it. And that was my tag number 3, which is a deck others would want to steal. I hope no one would steal it from me. So for the next tag, which is tag number 4, it says your strangest deck. Now, if you guys follow me, if you guys watch me, you guys know I am a fan, a lover of dark themed decks. I love shadow work. I love shadow decks. I love creepy decks. I love a lot of decks that are twisted and very strange. I love those types of decks. It is what I enjoy collecting. It is what I try to collect the most of. So I have 2 strange decks that out of all my decks, I find them to be a little bit stranger, or someone else might think they're weird decks or whatever they want to call them. And I'll show you both because I couldn't decide out of both which one is the strangest. Actually, there's 3. I forgot to pull out the other one. This is where I keep my decks in this huge cabinet. So, my first strangest deck is the Rain Coast Tarot. This is the 2nd edition, limited edition by Christoph James. This is the 2nd edition, so the backs are different. I get my certificate of authenticity, and I have number 22 out of 30. Now, this deck is strange, and I love it. That's the Fool. I love his art. It's amazing. I mean, he really went above and beyond with this deck. I love it. The 1st edition is beautiful too, but I do like the 2nd edition is borderless. The Magician. I mean, this artwork, if this is not strange, I don't know what is, but I love it. The High Priestess. With the first edition, he had a card that was a Pamela Coleman Smith card that he designed, like he drew her, like in this kind of world of his. But that came with the first edition. It didn't come with the second edition. The Empress. I mean, you have floating trees behind her. These trees are floating in the air. How strange is that, huh? I'll show you some more. The Lovers. It is a beautiful deck. I love this deck. It is strange. Like if you look at the strength card, right? Check out these buildings right here. They have faces and everything. A very strange deck. I love it. Let me see what else I can show you from this deck real quick. Let's see. Swords. 4 of Swords. This world he created, I love it. I really do. It's really, really cool what Christoph James did. Look at the 2 of Pentacles. It takes place in a circus. And it's one person that has a Siamese twins. Is that what they're called? With a conjoined twins. Has 2 people attached with one body. I mean, it's a really cool deck. I love it. There's a lot you can take from these cards. And when I pull it out and look through it, I haven't read with it, to be honest. I've given myself readings with it, but I've never read for someone else with it. There's so much, and every time you look at the same card, there's something different that you pick up out of that you can use to intuitively come up with meanings. And that's the Rain Coast Tarot 2nd edition. I think he also released a Oracle deck that I haven't been able to get my hands on yet. Now, for the second deck that I pick as my strangest deck, this I got off of Etsy, and it is the Moon Power Tarot. And I love this deck. I keep a little crystal in the box with it, and for some reason, this deck, I guess it was the gilding or when it was made and printed, had a very chemical smell. So to get rid of that, I put in a bag. To get rid of that smell, I put in one of these little bags with lavender inside. And it got the smell out of it. The deck doesn't smell funky anymore. Now it brings a book, a little fold-out sheet, which I'm not crazy about. To me, the meanings here are not really all that. Now, it is not Rider-Waite. I wouldn't say it's a Rider-Waite. It's very different. These are the backs. It's a shiny cardstock, but I don't mind it. The gold gilding. And I'll show you some of the cards. This is the 6 of Pentacles. You see what I mean by it's a strange deck, right? The 2 of Pentacles. Now, there's no men here. They're all women, which I don't mind, even the kings. So you have the King of Swords. The Knight of Cups. We have unicorns. We have weird fae-looking people. The Empress is one of my favorite cards. Look at this Empress, guys. I feel like I have to turn so the light can hit it the right way. There we go. Look at that Empress. Oh, I love this deck. This deck does not disappoint me. It is not a Rider-Waite Smith, though. Look at the Queen of Pentacles. I love her. She reminds me of the Wicked Witch. The Sun. The Hangman. Sorry, guys. And Temperance. Look at Temperance. I love this Temperance card. Look at that. How's that for a strange deck? I want to show you some more. The Queen of Swords. She's beautiful. I mean, the characters here are awesome. This is the Two of Cups. And then the cards in the if you're confused about which suit it is, all you got to do is look into the card. For example, these two girls, they're wearing a pin of a cup on their collar. So this is the Two of Cups. You just got to look into the image and it'll let you know what it really is. Check out the Hermit. Now, I love this because it's very like the wand suit is very Sailor Moonish, and I'm a Sailor Moon fan. I've always been since I was little. The Hierophant is one of my favorite cards. Now, the Hierophant, instead of being a classic Rider-Waite Hierophant, we have a coven. We have a circle of women. And we have the moon. And we have this beautiful circle of all types of women. We have women with white skin, women with blue skin, women with green skin, women with white hair, women with red hair, women with pink hair, women with long hair, women with short hair. I love this Hierophant. It is one of my favorite Hierophants out of all the decks that I own. I really love this deck. And I'll show you one last card. I will show you the Three of Cups. So that is my second strange deck. I have a few more strange decks, but I picked 3 just because for the sake of this video. And that again is the Moon Power Tarot by Charlie Quintero. And you can find this on Etsy. Now they have a second deck called the Sun Power Tarot or Sun. Let me check real quick because I follow them on Etsy. And I've been wanting to get my hands on that deck. So it is called... Let's see. So the shop is called Sick Sad Girls Shop on Etsy. And they have the Moon Power Tarot, which is the one I just showed. And they have the Star Power Tarot. Now this one's very cool too. Look at the backs for this one. I'll show you some of their stuff. Look. Very weird and quirky, but I really want to get my hands on this one too. It's very much in that same universe, but very different art. This one's more like crazy, psychedelic, super colorful, which I really love. Now the deck are $66 plus shipping each deck, but to me it's worth it. It's great quality. Now again, the only thing I did not like was the smell of the deck. It came with a very funky chemical smell, which I'm pretty sure it was because of the gilding. And so again, all I did was get one of these little baggies, put some lavender in it. I crushed it and I've kept it in the box. Now I've had this deck for almost a year now, and it took a few months before that smell came out of the cards. I know I love that Three of Cups with the mermaids. All right, guys. So for my third strange deck, I'm sorry, I've been stuck on the same tag, which is tag number 4, the strangest deck you own. I picked 3 decks because I just couldn't choose between those 3. And this one I just got for Samhain. And this I also got, was it? No, it was right off of her website. This is the Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's Tarot, Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Scenes. And it brought this amazing little green bag. And this is another strange deck. Dark. This is the backs. I want to edge it. I just haven't had the time. Look at the Fool. Now this is what they call a oh my god, what is that called? Nah. When they cut and paste and they put stuff together, like they add stuff to already existing art. I forgot what that's called right now. I don't have my head in the right place for it. The Magician. Collage, yes. Thank you, Iridescency. This is a collage deck, but it's done so beautifully. The High Priestess. It is a very ghostly, macabre, monsters. Look at the Empress. I'm going to show you some of my favorite for the sake of it, so I don't take forever. The Hierophant. I love the Hierophant in here too. Look at that mask he's wearing. The Lovers. Strength is one of my favorites. Look how creepy that is. What else? Justice. She's practically has no neck. Her head is just floating there. She's bloody. She has a bloody. I love this deck. It's very weird. Look at Death. It's dark. It's macabre. Temperance is my favorite. If you look at her face structure, I mean, this is creepy. She's very creepy. The Devil. I love this deck. The Star. The Moon, she's very ghostly looking. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I'm not a fan of the Sun card having creepy babies. I've never been a fan of that. But the Sun card in this deck with the creepy babies, I love. If you're going to do a Sun card with a creepy baby, this is the way to do it. I love it. All right, guys. And that is Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's Tarot. And that is it for my strange decks. We're going to go on to the next tag, which is tag number 5. And it is the deck least likely for others to have. Now that one, the one that I picked for that one, Mama Squirrel has that deck. She was actually the one who pointed me towards it. She had found, this is an out-of-print deck. Oh, wow. I had left this on the floor from the Spencer's deck. So this deck Mama Squirrel got off of eBay. And we got a very good deal on this deck. It is out of print. And there was someone selling them brand new. Mine came sealed in a shrink wrap and everything. And I think we got a really good deal on these. I think we only ended up paying like $27 for the deck. And this is the Merry Day Tarot. I think Mama Squirrel has a walkthrough of this. And I picked this one to be the deck least likely for others to have. I love this deck. It is very much, very fae. I love it though. I love that about, like, I love those types of tarots. We don't get a little white book, but we do get this nice card flip out that breaks it down for you. And what I love the most is that it actually has keywords. The backs are not reversible. It says Merry Day Tarot Deck, which I don't mind the backs. They're beautiful. The cardstock is very not so great, but I mean, for it being an older deck, I love it. So we get the number on top 0 and 22. It is the full wizard, and it says naive and wisdom. And I love this deck. It's so cute. I really like it. It's very vintage looking. You can even tell because of the artwork, the way the deck is set up, but I really love it. I love, 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 love this deck. The Emperor. Some of the cards are renamed, like the Hierophant is named Mentor. The Lovers. But I really do. I love this deck. This is the Merry Day Tarot deck. Merry Day Tarot deck. Published by Millhouse McCabe Inc., Salem, Massachusetts. Oh, I hate these tuck boxes because they scratch up the cards a little bit. All right, so that was my tag number 5, the deck least likely for others to have. Now we're going to tag number 6, which is the oldest deck. My oldest deck is, believe it or not, a Marseille deck. Published by Heraclio Fournier. And this is called the Spanish Tarot. And you can tell, look at this box, guys. I've had this for years. I think I've had this deck for over 20 years now. The box is a little bit beat up. It is very much so a Marseille deck. The backs. This is the only Marseille deck I own. And we have the English titles on top and the Spanish titles at the bottom. For the for courts and the majors. The minors only are numbered. It is the only Marseille deck I own. I am not a lover of Marseille. I know how to read with Marseille. Again, this was my first deck, the oldest deck I own. Even though the box is beat up, the deck itself is in amazing condition. This deck is still in print. You can still get it off of Amazon. I believe I've seen it. See, so this is the King of Swords. It doesn't have the English titles on it. So only the Major Arcana has the English title on top and the Spanish title at the bottom. So it's only the majors that give you the English title as well. It's not my favorite in imagery, but again, it is the oldest deck that I own. And again, that is a Spanish tarot. The box is like falling apart on me. I believe this deck was my older sister's first, and then She gave it to me because she wasn't interested. I guess she bought it for the first time just to try tarot out, and because she knows I've been very witchy since a very young age, she handed it down to me and I've kept it. All right, so tag number 7, and after this there's 2 more tags, is the deck that made me start collecting. Now, for over, I think I met Mama Squirrel 2018 was when I became an admin for Mama Squirrel. 2017, 2018. Wow, I've known her for 3 years. Because Tarot Stock, I believe, took place in 2019. Now, prior to Tarot Stock, I saw Mama Squirrel do a walkthrough of the Janasa Giles Tarot 3rd edition. That deck was out of print. And the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition were going online for hundreds of dollars. I messaged Janasa Giles. I followed her on Instagram. I messaged her. And she did not have copies of her deck. So she told me, you could probably find someone to sell it for you, but you're going to pay a lot of money. And this was in 2018 when I messaged her. She told me for 2019, I will be releasing a 4th edition of my deck. I waited an entire year because I refused to pay $300, $400, $500 for one of her decks. And so I waited an entire year. Why is this box like that? I waited an entire year to get the new edition that she created, which is the 4th edition of the Janasa Giles Tarot. This is my favorite tarot deck. It is the deck that made me want to start collecting all types of tarot decks. These are the backs of the 4th edition. The colors, this light is not doing these colors justice. I hate that. Let me get my little book light. I don't know why I didn't think about doing this first. My mom just got home. There we go. Now we see the colors a little bit better. I will forever follow Janasa Giles, and I will forever purchase any and every deck that she creates. That's the death card. Look at the High Priestess. Oh. The moon. Look at the moon. Oh my God. This deck made it for me. Can you shut up? My God. 3 of Cups. It is very pippish, but I don't mind it. The minors are somewhat pippish, but I don't mind them. They contain illustrations, but sometimes they get a little bit pippish. Look at Temperance. I will forever love Janasa Giles and her artwork. I mean, she made me want to collect. And I'll show you, I have 3 decks of Janasa Giles. I have this 4th edition, which she released in 2019. And in the beginning of 2020, she released her 2nd tarot deck, the Stunning Tarot by Janasa Giles. She is releasing a 2nd edition of this. The cards are smaller, the backs are different, and the box is small. It's a little bit smaller. This is going to be released on the 28th of November on her shop, her big cartel store. And I'm also going to get my hands on it. It's a 2nd edition of this deck. This is the 1st edition. These are the backs. I love this deck. Ace of Wands. Two of Cups, the Hermit, the Three of Wands, the Tower, the Star. Now, this is very different to the Janasa Joss Tarot. This is called the Stunning Tarot, but it is by the same creator, Janasa Joss. Six of Wands, the Two of Swords. I love the colors she used. Ace of Pentacles. The Suit of Pentacles is Egyptian. The Suit of Swords is mermaids. For the cup suits, she used more of a Aladdin, Arabian Nights type of theme. Look at the High Priestess. Okay, again, this is the Stunning Tarot by Janasa Joss, and that is her second tarot that she's ever created. And she will be releasing a second edition of this next week. Actually, this week, November 28th. 8 p.m. Spain time. She's from Spain. She also released not too long ago the 5th edition of her tarot deck. This is the 4th and this is the 5th. And what she did for the 5th edition, she changed it. It's the same deck, but she changed it. These are the backs. The deck is no longer thin and skinny and long. It's more of a regular size. And the colors are very green. Same High Priestess, I'll show you. But the colors are very green. She was inspired for the 5th edition by those vintage books on herbs and stuff like that. That's what she described that she was inspired by. So here we have the High Priestess off of the 4th edition and the High Priestess out of the 5th edition. It's way more green. I am in love with her art. I mean, I've followed her for a while. I waited patiently for the 4th edition to come out of her deck, her original deck. I got my hands on her second deck as soon as she released it, and I got my hands on the 5th edition of her original deck as soon as she released it. And I will get the second edition of her second deck when she releases it on the 28th. Where's the King of Pentacles? The King of Pentacles is my favorite card. He's my favorite king out of all of her kings in her deck. He's my favorite king, the King of Pentacles. And that is Janasa Joss. She made me want to collect all types of tarot that I can get my hands on. All right, we're on the last 2 tags. Let me turn that off. So we did the oldest deck. We did tag number 7, which deck made me start collecting. Now for tag number 8 is my newest addition or my newest deck to my collection, which I received the other day. And I don't know why I took forever to get this deck. I got it off of Amazon. It had been in my cart for like a year or 2. I've been wanting it. Waited and waited and waited. I don't know why I waited. I shouldn't have waited that long. I got the Tarot of the Sheet, and I am in love with this deck. The box is amazing. The cardstock is shiny, but I don't mind it. Now the cards are huge. It's made by Schiffer. You get a good book. The backs. I've seen people trim the side black borders and just leave the top and bottom, and it looks amazing. I'm in love with this deck. I love it. I don't know why it took forever to get it. It's amazing. I love the artwork. I love a lot of Fae-inspired artwork, nature-inspired artwork. Again, I love creepy decks as well. This has a little bit of creepiness to it. Let me see if I find something that will kind of... Look at the pen card. Oh my god. I love these types of decks. Whimsical, creepy at times. I love these decks. They're awesome. I really have become a tarot collector, at least within the last year. And there's so many decks on my list that I want to get my hands on. But again, I try not to spend a lot of money, especially if it's an out-of-print deck. I just do not have the heart to spend $500 in a deck that's out of print. Like, I just can't. The last tag out of the Tarot Collector is your favorite deck. I've had this deck for over a year in my collection, and it is my favorite deck. The Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. The book, also by Ian Daniels, is amazing. This book can be used with any tarot deck. The way it's broken down, it can be used with any deck. And I think the book can be purchased by itself also. These are the backs. I edged my deck in red. And it is a vampire deck. But I love this deck. This is my favorite tarot deck. Let me put on the little light so you guys can see better. Tower. This is my favorite tarot deck. It reads like a dream. It's amazing for shadow work. The book companion is awesome. These are the wands, the scepters. And that is my favorite tarot deck. Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It literally took me an hour to get through this Tarot Collector tag. Again, check out the Moonbaby, that channel by Brandt. He is an amazing tarot collector. His channel is very cool. He collects all types of historical decks, vintage decks. He created this tag, Tarot Collector. And if you're interested, I'd like to see what's in your tarot collection. So Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.